Hello, yellow fellows, it's Baldy Chris. It is time for more yellow sticker madness. And while this wasn't on yellow sticker, it is very nice, this peanut butter whiskey liqueur. It was on a nectar price offer, so it was £17 for the bottle, which isn't too bad. But anyway, on to the yellow stickers. So I have got quite a few things for the freezer. So I've got a barbecue chicken pizza, a bit better than half price, £1.50 there. And then also a spicy Italian pepperoni and rocchito pepper wood-fired pizza from the Taste the Difference range. So it was a fiver to begin with, got it for £1.80. Interestingly, my friend's son sent me a picture of one of those pizzas the other day, reduced to just 4p. Now, I do not know where on earth they got them for 4p, but that was an absolute bargain. I'm happy enough with the 1.80, and like I say, it's going in the freezer to try another time, because it certainly sounds tasty. I've got some jam sponge puddings. They're about 75% off. Was intending to have these for pudding tonight, but I've accidentally bought 2 puddings. However, as I throw them around the place, they are freezable, so that's what's going to happen to them. Similarly, the chicken wings with Herbie Green Zug dressing. I've no idea what Herbie Green Zug dressing is, specifically the Zug part of it, but it sounds nice. Those were £4.50, they were down to £1.75, so getting on for 2/3 of the price off there. Why is that label not flattening out? That's upsetting my aesthetics. Anyway, they are freezable, and that is what's going to happen to those as well. I did consider using them as a starter for tonight, but it won't be necessary, I've got enough food. Which is not a phrase you'll hear me say often, because, yeah, you know me, I go mad, hence the name of the channel. I've got potato gratin as well. Again, that is freezable, so that is what's happening with that. I may be using it with another item that you'll see in a bit, in due course. Also got these rather nice sounding things, Patagonian scallop and king prawn gratins. 2 gratins there, hadn't realised that. They were £4.75 down to £2, so again, going in the freezer for a later stage. And I got some kielbasa sausages, which are Polish white sausages apparently. I'm not absolutely certain that these will freeze, but I don't see why they wouldn't. Sausages do usually freeze, so I'm going to give it a go. They were £4.40, which is frankly outrageous, even allowing for it being an import item, I assume. But it's down to £1.09, so 75% off. And yeah, I've heard of kielbasas. I don't think I've ever had any, so yeah, we'll find out what they're like. Anyway, that's the stuff for the freezer. On to things that are being had for dinner tonight. So we've got chicken breasts layered with garlic butter, topped with a herb crumb. They were a bit better than half price. And they had loads of interesting stuff when I went in, but the reductions weren't huge. And by the time they got the big reductions out, a lot of it had gone, so other people had been in there picking it up for not as big a discount as I would like. The fools, but they obviously got a better selection of stuff than I did. So anyway, I'm going to be having those tonight, well, one of those tonight, and once it's cooked, the other one will wait until tomorrow quite nicely, I am sure of that. I've got some Anya potatoes as well. Again, taste the difference. These were £1.60 down to 30p, so a little bit better than 80% off there, I think, if my maths is right. I've got some beans to go with it as well. They were £1.16, now they're 29p, so that I'm pretty sure is 75% off. And I've got some garnishes as well, probably overkill on the garnish to be honest, because I've got some spinach that was down to 20p from £1, so 80% off. And an Italian salad, which was £2 down to 30p. I think that's 85% off. Here is the pudding item that I mentioned earlier. It's another Polish one, actually, that they do have a variety of sort of foreign food sections within the shop. I wasn't aware we had a particularly large Polish community in my area, but we must have, otherwise they wouldn't have this sort of stuff. So we've got... I won't even try to pronounce it, I'll only get it wrong. I'll show you the English version of events, which is pancakes with cottage cheese, and you can't quite see it, but it is raisins. They were £2.50 down to £1, so 60% off. and that'll be pudding tonight. They do sound quite nice. I assume they're meant to be had as a pudding. They sound like a sweeter rather than savoury item. I don't really know. I've got some things for packed lunch for tomorrow. Got some cheese and onion rolls. They were 58, bit better than half price, 25p. And some pork sausage rolls. I might have one of those now actually, because there's quite a few of them. There's 4 fairly chunky ones in there. Basically 75% off at 50p. And then also a quiche Lorraine, which is a gluten-free one. That was £3, which is quite outrageous for a fairly small one, but the gluten-free stuff does cost a lot. I sympathise with people who need to be buying gluten-free stuff. Fortunately, I don't, but if they're going to put it in at 75% off, I'll give it a try. So that will go in lunch tomorrow as well, or could be frozen as well. Haven't decided yet. Then I did mention that I had something to go with the potato gratin, and that is right here. Is this large pork shoulder joint, and it is very large indeed. It's a bit over 2 kilos. It says it will serve 9 people. It's going to be serving me for probably about 4 meals in total. It's good till the 14th. It is freezable, but I'm not going to need to because it is good for so long. So that's over a week away. I couldn't figure out why this was reduced. I think they've changed what they're doing, so they don't think they do a large joint anymore. They just have a pork shoulder joint, slightly smaller ones, and the large ones are specifically designed for crackling. So presumably this one is less susceptible to having pork crackling on it than the ones that they're replacing it with. So I assume it is just a slight variation in the line that they're doing. But it was a little bit over a tenner. It's down to £6.59. Like I say, I'm probably going to get 4 meals out of it. I will roast it. I'm going to have a roast dinner the one day. I will probably have leftover roast dinner the following day. And with the cooked meat that's left, I will use that as something along the lines of either a pulled pork, if I can figure out how to cook them. I've never tried it before. Or just chop it up and throw it into something like a sweet and sour. So yeah, plenty of meals in there for £6.5. Not bad at all. I'm happy with that, even if the discount wasn't huge. There's a huge bit of meat, and like I say, will stretch a long way for me. And then these ones weren't officially yellow stickered, but they were marked on clearance. So local delicacy, Bourneville, not too far from me. Dark chocolate fingers. I'm not particularly fond of chocolate, or especially dark chocolate, but I figure I will probably have colleagues that are, so they're going into the office tomorrow, so people have got stuff to dunk in their tea. So there we are, quite a selection of stuff. Tonight's dinner, a few snacky bits and pieces, a few sweet treats, and a good amount of stuff for the freezer as well. That is it for today's Yellow Sticker Madness. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel if you'd consider it. I'd appreciate it. That'd be nice. Thank you very much in advance. And liking and sharing, also much appreciated. And as ever, if you want to get in touch in the comments, feel free to do so. I do read them all, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. So until the next time, I don't know if I am doing this catchphrase yet or not, but let's try it once more time. Stay yellow, yellow fellows. See you soon.